Welcome and good afternoon. This is Commish Orr, and it's about that time for the All-Star break in my Payoff Pitch League. That's right. The Payoff Pitch League is almost halfway through the season. I'm playing a one-third of a season, which is 54 games, and teams have played 25 games so far. We're just one day away from the All-Star break. In fact, if we go to our schedule here, you can see we have one more day of games to play, and then we'll be at the All-Star break, which means it is time for All-Star voting. That's right, All-Star voting, which I'll talk about here in just a second. Just a little brief update as we near. We have some interesting races here. Nobody's out of it yet, though there is a 6-game lead for Boston in the American League right now. And even the last place teams are 8 games back, a little closer in the National League. So very interesting stuff. But All-Star voting. I have a Google form, which you will be able to see. And once you get the link to the Google form, which I'll leave in the description of this video, you do need a Google login in order to get into this, unfortunately. But if you do have a Google login, you can get into this. I have links to see the stats for the American League and National League. And so once you come onto the screen here, you can get the full stats here at the bottom. That will take you to the full stats screen. But if you just want to see the top AL and NL starters at each position, you can follow those links. And then you'll see the ballot, the All-Star ballot. So what you'll do is you'll vote for one player at each of the positions, including designated hitter. Once again, you will go to the link here to see the stats, which, by the way, if you're curious, looks something like this. It's very hard to read, I'm sure, because it's kind of small on the screen. How's that? Much better, right? So you'll see this is the American League. Catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left field, center field, right field, designated hitter. And you can see their stats here so far. Once you've made your selection, you can just choose it. You get one vote for each of the positions, including designated hitter, as I mentioned. And that's all there is to it. So you could be a part of that voting process by following the link, submitting your ballot. We'll have about 3 weeks probably before we actually play the All-Star game, which if we look at the dates right now, that puts us to early May. I have 2 projects going on, this Payoff Pitch League and my Season Ticket Baseball Best of the 90s Tournament League. And I alternate every other week on those projects. So next week's project will be Season Ticket. Then we'll have the final day before the All-Star break the following week. Then we'll have another week of Season Ticket. So the All-Star game will likely be after the 9th, after May 9th. So plenty of time to vote. And I'll leave some reminders here or there throughout these next few weeks. But you certainly don't have to wait for that. You can vote right away. There's only one more game to play for these teams before the All-Star break, so the stats won't change very much. Just as a reminder, if you're wondering what this league is all about or what the setup is, well, the Payoff Pitch League is a Hall of Fame league. So there are 3 American League and 3 National League teams of Hall of Famers, along with a team in each league not in the Hall of Fame. So players that are not in the Hall of Fame, but are still very good players in many cases. So Alex Rodriguez, your Pete Rose. It can also include players that have retired but aren't eligible for the Hall of Fame yet. So if they recently retired but aren't eligible for the Hall of Fame, they could be on one of those teams as well. And that's kind of how the games are set up. My original goal was just to see how well a team of non-Hall of Famers could compete against teams of Hall of Famers. And last year, my first season of this league, The Detroit Rockets won it all, and they are the American League team of non-Hall of Famers. So it is possible for them to win it all. If you're curious of what the roster looks like for that team, Kenny Lofton, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Alex Rodriguez, Miguel Cabrera, Rafael Palmeiro, Mark McGuire, just to name a few. Roger Clemens pitching for them. Lots of good players. Lots of good players that aren't in the Hall of Fame on that team. And so it's no wonder that they did pretty well. But of course, the Hall of Fame teams are stacked as well. Curious to see who you'll choose to go to that All-Star game. And again, the voting will begin as soon as this video is launched. I'll leave a link in the description. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below as well. I will have a video for this league when we are at the All-Star break to kind of recap stats and standings and all of that fun stuff. And so be watching for that as well. Consider subscribing if you don't want to miss any of that action. With all that said, that's where we will leave things today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a great evening.